So I've found the perfect way to optimize my nutrition as a 7 and 8 figure business owner. I've just optimized it in a way where I've leveraged ChatGPT, built a specific supplement stack that's unique to my individual needs and the way that my body is composed. And this is how I did it. By the way, if you're new here, my name's Eddie Cheng. I run a 7 figure advertising company, and also I'm an owner of an 8 figure e-commerce brand called Viba. We sell the comfiest shoes in the world. But this video, I really want to show you something that I learned recently that's just changed the game in the way that I just manage and optimize my health, specifically with what I'm inputting into my body. As an entrepreneur, most of us, we know that our health is very important to us, especially nowadays in the modern day and age when we have the internet. We have access to all this rich information, and it's much easier to access that information when maybe 10 or 20 years ago, people didn't have that access, and they would really do it the wrong way and build their businesses the wrong way and not think about their health, not think about longevity, not think about these other areas where now I think the modern day entrepreneur, especially these young kids, they just know how to do it and they're doing it right. I watched a video at some point. I think it must have been Huberman, and he mentioned a very specific test that he recommended, and it's called a methylation test. And a methylation test, I'm just reading it off of the screen here, is designed to really pretty much provide you a deeper understanding of your body, right, and help you optimize your health based on your metabolic pathways, based on your genetic predispositions. And I'm definitely not an expert in these areas, but I'm banking on the science, right, that already exists. I don't need to understand this stuff. And I'll show you the exact ABC process that I did to really personalize my supplement stack, where now everything is just fine-tuned. And I can refine things ongoing, and things will change depending on my lifestyle and my needs. But I think this will really help a lot of you. So I know this video will help you. So I'm using this product. I'm based in the UK. So this, maybe it's available in the US, I'm not sure, but it's called Stride, getstride.com. I'm not affiliated with these guys at all. I'm literally just sharing with you what I used and what I'm doing here. So this is like a DNA kit. They basically ship you out this DNA kit. You swab your cheek right inside your gum area. You seal it in a bag. You send it off, and then I think in 10 business days they will send you a report based on your DNA. So I did this version. I did the full shebang, right? Health, nutrition, fitness, sleep, stress, skin reports, methylation. And if we go into my account, this is the information that they shared with me. So this is my dashboard, right, when I logged in. And you can see that there's a bunch of different reports here for all these areas: nutrition, fitness, sleep, stress, skin, and methylation. And if we go into nutrition as the first one, by the way, I've tried so many things in the past. I've tried AG1, I've tried all these different products. I see an ad, I see it being very biohacky, and I buy it and I try it, but nothing really seemed to stick, right? This, to me, just makes sense, and it's easier for me to stick because I understand how it's directly correlated with my needs and everything that I've known with these 30 plus years being on this earth. I look at this report and I think, man, that makes a lot of sense. So I really recommend you try this, right? You do this. It doesn't have to be with Stride. Do it with whatever's available to you in your local market. And you'll see here, okay, so I have a low sensitivity to carbs, and that makes sense because I eat a lot of fucking rice, right? I eat pasta, I eat a lot of this stuff, but I don't seem to put on weight. I'm quite a lean guy. It's very hard for me to put on weight, at least not with carbs. And then you can go into more detail. You can look at all these areas, how to improve, how the genetics play a part in this particular parameter, and then you can look at on the spectrum of things where you kind of are, where your body type fits based on your genes, right? And you have your own gene and then your genotype, and then you get some like basic advice stuff, right, about foods to think about. Now, depending on your needs, if you're very high on this scale, then that means that you typically put on weight very, very easily when you eat a piece of bread, right? So everybody's different. All of our bodies are unique. So there's a bunch of this stuff, right, when it comes with carbohydrates, saturated fats, vitamins. Iron deficiency, I have an increased risk for low iron, right? So I need to eat more. Basically, it's an excuse to eat more steak, basically, right? And but then there's these other areas like skin as well. And I've struggled with skin for a very, very long time. And so this is really going to help me more. I've started this process maybe a couple of weeks back, so I'm still in that kind of build up stage of seeing the benefits. but I'm feeling great. And you can see here that it goes into oxidative stress, the effects on my skin, pigmentation, all these areas, right? I have a raised detoxification risk. And that sounds scary. So, of course, I'm going to look into this, try and understand just surface level, the basics, right, is enough to really get me started. And then what I did is with each of these reports, I downloaded the PDF. You get a PDF basically of all this information. And then what I did, and I'll show you my GPT, I threw it into a customized GPT that I built. I literally threw in the reports. I asked it, hey, this is a nutrition report based on my gene type, based on my deficiencies and raised needs. Can you suggest some supplements I could start taking daily? And then it will say, based on your Strive nutrition report, and it spit me out a couple of things for me to get started with. And then I would bounce with some things that I'm already taking, cod liver oil, and I ask questions about some of the things that I don't really understand and I'm trying to learn. So this process has been so good for me in the sense that I'm learning so much. I also want to be educated about what I'm putting into my body. And the fact that I'm not hearing and listening to generic advice, generic health gurus on YouTube or Twitter, I'm actually doing the research into my own individual specific body and needs. It's just a lot more relevant and it's a lot more compelling for me to do this, because the benefit I get from this is directly one-to-one correlated with the benefits. It will benefit me 100%, right? So you can see here that I'm asking all these questions about all these different vitamins and so on. And then how often should I take them? I'm just trying to understand. As I said, I'm not a biohacker, so I'm trying to educate myself here. And then I'm sharing specific products that I'll find on Amazon based on their recommendation. And then I'll just spit it in here and tell me, hey, is this a good product based on what your understanding of my nutrition needs? And then GPT would tell me yes, no, why, and why is a good fit or why it's not a good fit. And I kept just doing this, trying to understand. And this all took me, half an hour, less than half an hour overall. I also take this momentum shake, really awesome, by the way. In fact, if I show you, if you're in the States, I really recommend this. I actually pay more to get it sent and shipped into the UK because I really love the ingredients here, right? It's all longevity stuff, mushrooms, all of the NAD precursor boost. I have a biohacking buddy who just talks about this all the time, so I know that this is all good ingredients and good stuff. So yeah, momentum shake. I'm also not sponsored by these guys, sharing with you literally what I'm using currently. So then we have then I would share all the other reports that I got from my Stride report, other areas in methylation, in skin and stress, and also my sleep. So also in sleep, I found out, which backed up what I know about myself, is actually my chronotype is unbiased to being more of a night owl, right? My energy levels are higher in the evening compared to the average person. So now I might actually start testing. Rather than do my deep work focus in the morning, I'm going to try doing some deep work or more creative work in the evening, because it actually aligns with my energy levels a lot more often. So just the power that you have with knowledge of your own body, it's game changing. And another reason for you to really do something like this, to try a methylation test. So again, I gave GPT all of this information, try to get a structure and itinerary of, okay, what supplements do I take? When do I take them? How do I take them? And you can see it might not be perfect. I'm still playing around with it, trying to understand, are there any overlaps in certain vitamins or any certain supplements, right? Because I'm taking several products. GPT is so easy. It's so easy to just write a prompt. Hey, are there any overlaps in these areas, or are there any risks to overdosing, or whatever it? If you're concerned about overdosing, if that's a thing, right? Some supplements it is a thing. Some which are water soluble is not so much of a thing. These are all things that I'm learning as I'm doing this process. And here you can see that I'm just sharing with it, a bunch of all the other reports: the methylation report, skin report, sleep report, and it's just giving me more information and more focused information that is actually useful for me as an individual. A lot of this stuff isn't going to be applicable to other people necessarily, but at least I know for me, it's very relevant. So just the power of this is huge. And so now, based on all this information, and I keep sending it products, hey, does this look like a good product? Why? Yes, no. Just getting that feedback, just learning, right? Doing lots of back and forth here, right? And I implore you to do the same with yourself as well. And so what I've done is I've implemented a nutrition plan every single day on my calendar, you know, and I have like a structure of what to take. And the thing is, it's not overly complex, right? And these are things that I would never have known about before. Astaxanthin, like what the hell is that? Right now, I have a better idea of what it is. It's directly useful for me and my individual needs. And what I've done actually is I've also printed a laminated sheet of paper, which lists these supplements, their ingredients, and also what foods I can eat that contains and gives me the benefits of what these supplements would give me, right? So I can live my days with intention, knowing that if I eat certain foods, if I eat a specific fish or eat egg or and so on, I know that maybe I don't need to take a specific supplement that day because I know I've compensated for it in my food, which is usually a richer quality for that. You can see how powerful this is. And especially as an entrepreneur, you know, if you're very, very busy, you're very stressed all the time, you have so many things on your plate, you're juggling so many things, you don't have the time to figure this stuff out. You don't have the time to and if you do, then maybe you're procrastinating, right? Because it can be a very fun rabbit hole to dig into the whole biohacking stuff. But this took me less than an hour, maybe half an hour to figure all this out, buy all the products, check the products. I sent this to my biohacking buddy who confirmed with me, yeah, watch out for these things, but this majority of it looks good. So it just saves me so much time, and yet it's so refined and optimized to my needs. So that's it. I hope that this video gave you some really good insight about what you can do for yourself and how to optimize your health, especially if you have no interest in biohacking and these areas, or you don't really care for it. You don't have the interest or the time. This, such a small, simple shift that you can make in your day could reap such a huge benefit for you in the way that you do the things that you do love when you're building a business, when you're focusing on your career or your work, when you're working on your passion projects. Just feeling better in yourself, in your body, and being optimized from a health perspective could completely change the game for you. So that's it. That's this video. Hope you got something from this. If you liked it, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll make more content like this. Thanks, and see you next time.